get started, I just want to continue to emphasize the importance of putting Jesus first in these videos. Now, I talk about racism and other things, but never get it twisted. My emphasis is to always have Jesus first. Now, I want to bring out the sins of racism because I think it still needs to be talked about and represented, and I will continue to do so. But like I said, I just want to make this emphasis and give it clarity in going forward. And I also tell you, just keep an open mind uh, um, about this subject because I know a lot of people don't want to hear it, but then again, a lot of people do. So I look to inform you and persuade some of you to see what I'm talking about. Here's Pastor Price.
Another email via television. I received an email on my computer, and this is very interesting, and I thought I ought to read this to you. Some of you may have picked it up off the internet, but this is absolutely incredible and awesome. The subject is Dear Black Americans. Did you see that? Isn't that awesome? Do you remember it? Huh? Some of it? Oh, it's awesome. Listen to this. Dear Black Americans. Dear Black Americans, after all of these years and all we have been through together, we think it's appropriate for us to show our gratitude for all you have done for us. We have chastised you, criticized you, punished you, and in some cases even apologized to you. But we have never formally nor publicly thanked you for your never-ending allegiance and support of our cause. This is our open letter of thanks to a unique people, a forgiving people, a steadfast people, and a brave people. Black Americans, we will always be in debt to you for your labor. You built this country and were responsible for the great wealth we still enjoy today. Upon your backs, laden with the stripes we sometimes had to apply for disciplinary reasons. You carried our nation. We thank you for that. We thank you for your diligence, and tenacity. Even when we refused to allow you to even walk in our shadows, you followed close behind, believing that someday we would come to accept you and treat you like men and women. Your strength in the face of adversity cannot be understated. You are truly a great people, and we thank you so much. We publicly acknowledge black people for raising our children, attending to our sick, and preparing our meals while we were occupied with the trappings of the good life. Even during the times when we found pleasure in your women and enjoyment in seeing one of your men lynched, maimed, and burned, some of you continue to watch over us and our belongings. We simply cannot thank you enough. Your bravery on the battlefield, despite being classified as 3/5 of a man, was and still is outstanding and beyond the call of duty. We often watched in awe as you went about your prescribed chores and assignments, sometimes laboring in the hot sun for 12 hours to assist us in realizing our dreams of wealth and good fortune. You were always there, and we thank you. Now that we control at least 90% of all the resources and wealth of this nation, we have black people to thank the most. You were there when it all began, and you are still with us today, protecting us from those black people who have the tenacity or temerity to speak out against our past transgressions. How can we thank you for your dedication? You warned us about Denmark Vesey. You let us know about Gabriel Prosser's plans. You called our attention to Nat Turner, and you even sounded the alarm when old John Brown came calling on Harper's Ferry. Some of you still warn us today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, as we look out upon our enormous wealth, and as we assess our tremendous control of the resources of this country, we can only think of the sacrifices you and your families made to make all of this possible. You are indeed fantastic, and we will forever be in your debt. To think of how you have looked out for us for hundreds of years, and to see you still doing the same thing today is simply amazing. Thank you for continuing to bring 95% of what you earn to our businesses. That is so gracious of you. Thanks for buying our Hilfigers, Karens, Nikes, and all of the other brands you so adore. Your purchases of these products really makes us feel that we are at least giving something back to you for your patronage. After all, in the past, the brands we put on you were quite painful, but those of today can be proudly worn because they give you a sense of self-esteem, right? But it's the people who have treated us so well. Your superior athletes, entertainers, intellectuals, and business persons, both legal and illegal, exchange most of their money for our cars, jewelry, homes, and clothing. What a windfall they have provided for us. The less fortunate among you spend all they have at our neighborhood stores, enabling us to open even more stores. Sure, they complain about us, but they never do anything to hurt us economically. You are a very special people. Thank you. Oh yes, allow us to thank you for not bogging yourselves down with the business of doing business with your own people. We can take care of that for you. Please don't trouble yourselves with it. Yes, you were very successful at it after slavery ended, and even as recently as 1960. But you know what happened when you began to build your own communities and do business with one another? Some of the lower ones of our kind burned you out time and time again. So why bother? In today's business environment, your own people will not support you anyway. You just keep doing business with us. It's safer that way. Besides, everything you need, we make anyway, even kente cloth. You just continue to chant, to dance, sing, fight, get high, go to prison, backbite, envy, and distrust, and hate one another. Have yourselves a good time. And this time, we'll take care of you. It's the least we can do, considering all you've done for us. Heck, you deserve it, black people, for your labor, which created our wealth, for your resisting the messages of troublemaking blacks like Washington, Delaney, Garvey, Bethune-Tubman, and Truth, for fighting and dying on our battlefields. We thank you. For allowing us to move into your neighborhoods. We will forever be grateful to you. For your unceasing desire to be near us, and for hardly ever following through on your threats to our lack of reciprocity and equity. We thank you so much. We also appreciate your acquiescence to our political agendas, for abdicating your own economic self-sufficiency, and for working so diligently for the economic well-being of our people. You are real troopers. And even though the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments were written for you, and many of your relatives died for the rights described therein, you did not resist when we changed those black rights to civil rights and allowed virtually every other group to take advantage of them as well. Black people, you are something else. Your dependence upon us to do the right thing is beyond our imagination, irrespective of what we do to you and the many promises we have made and broken. But this time, we will make it right. We promise. Trust us. Tell you what, you don't need your own banks, your own hotels. You can continue to stay in ours. You have no need for supermarkets when you can shop at ours 24 hours a day. Why should you even think about owning more banks? You have plenty now. And don't waste your energy trying to break into manufacturing. You've worked hard enough in our fields. Relax. Have a party. We'll sell you everything you need. And when you die, we'll even bury you at discount. Now, how's that for gratitude? Finally, the best part. You went beyond the pale and turned your children over to us for their education. With what we have taught them, it's likely they will continue in a mode similar to the one you have followed for the past 45 years. When Mr. Lynch walked the banks of the James River in 1712 and said he would make us a slave for 300 years, little did we realize the truth in his prediction. Just 13 more years, and his promise will come to fruition. But with 2 generations of your children having gone through our education system, we can look forward to at least another 50 years of prosperity. Wow! Things could not be better. And it's all because of you. For all you have done, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts, Black Americans. You're the best friends any group of people could ever have. Sincerely, all other Americans.
Just let that marinate for a little bit. Huh. So you heard it. That was a letter from anonymous white America to Black America, some some 30 plus years ago. Check it out. Look at the progress today. Now, yeah, there many strides have been made. Okay, many strides have been made, but racist ideas, racism itself, prejudice, bigotry, it's still out there. And as I've always said, it'll never go away. But at this point, want to address Black America because with this particular generation, boy, we have a lot to work on as far as the communities, the women. I don't like what I'm seeing. I do not like what I'm seeing. Uh, Maybe some of you feel the same way. I may be in a minority. I don't know. Let me know. Do you feel the same way, or you don't like what you're seeing? See, the thing is, we can, as a whole, blame the system, blame this, blame that, but overall, we still have to do better in our communities, do better as men, do better as women. But I particularly don't like what I'm seeing in the churches. It's more about the singing. That's fluff. I want to see substance. I want to see something that you can grab hold to. I want to see where we apply the word of God and grow from that. And listening to that letter, it was more about the things that we've been stuck in a rut in and pretty much not checking ourselves. Because in the letter, it mentions Black people going out and buying this and buying that and partying, pretty much acquiescing to um, racist sayings. And we need to change the narrative. It starts in the church. It starts at home. It starts between a man and a woman being married. We have to stop this never-ending cycle of shacking up. We have to stop it. On one hand, yeah, we can talk about the ills of racism that still prevails, but on the other hand, as a whole, as a community, as a people, we need to clean our act up. We need to get our kitchen in order. We need to apply ourselves in a biblical sense. We need to be serious about being serious about Christ. Will that change overnight? No, it won't. Especially in the path and trajectory, excuse me, that we're going in. Have you noticed that the younger people, those in their 20s, 30s, and below, are we're moving more and more away from God? Have you noticed that? And with each generation that passes on, that's older, and then you have the younger ones coming up, they're less about church, they're less about Jesus. That's scary. From here, we need to get the word out. I'm speaking about other ministers. We need to be serious about this because when they look out and see what's going on, it's not much to see. We got too many people playing around with God. People in leadership playing around with God. We got too many of that. Too much, too many. Because we have people out here who are hurting. They're looking for leadership. They're looking for love. Love in the sense of someone caring about what's going on with them. And when we have pastors, ministers, and so forth who are playing with the world instead of being about the business of God, and people look at them and they lose hope. You know, a lot of people they may say they've gone away from God. The bottom line is that they're looking for that love, they're looking for that leadership, they're looking for truth. And if they don't get it from the church, they'll get it from the world. So we need to wake up and we need to stop making what was said in that letter true. We need to flip the script on that. So, and with this election coming up, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for or anything like that. I'm old school when it comes to that. Keep it to myself. What I do is, or what I will say is, and I know, especially in this election, it's hard to see Christian in both candidates. But I say, dig deep, dig really deep. Listen to what's being said. Listen to what's being shown you. And you make that decision from there. Now, I don't want to make this about a political thing, but like I said, the election is coming up. So be focused on Christ. Be like-minded. Until we meet again, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the like button. Say.